What is going on, everyone? We are back, and we are ready to go. Bears back. The boys are back. The Lakeshore Live podcast is back. Of course, the pregame show is here. We're ready to bring you guys everything that we've got on today's game, and we've got a live show today. You guys talking about waking up with us? We got a live show. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We've got chips. You guys like chips? Chips galore today. You guys are excited for that?
Chip show.
It's going to be a very chip-heavy show. If you guys listen to our show if you guys listen to our podcast on Thursday, Ryan, our secret chip connoisseur, and it's funny talking about that real quick. I was trying to tweet connoisseur, and I couldn't. Usually I depend on autocorrect, and autocorrect wasn't there for me this time, so I had to tweet chip enthusiast for Ryan.
Those are rough days.
But Ryan is our chip connoisseur. It's just amazing.
Chip guru, if you will.
Chip guru. But we're going to get into it, guys. Before we do, it is Bears Falcons. Big game today. Fellas, overall, how are we feeling on this wonderful Sunday morning? Are we ready to wake some people up?
I'm amped. It's another NFL Sunday, another day to get after it, and the Bears have an awesome opportunity here to potentially start the season 3-0. I think the Falcons are a team that are better than their record, and we'll go into more depth on this, but they're banged up right now. They got a lot of issues on both sides of the ball. We'll talk about the one COVID test they had positive. The game was almost in doubt there, it seemed like, for a little bit, but the Falcons are hurting right now, so the Bears have a prime opportunity to jump out ahead and start 3-0.
Yeah. Ryan, how are we feeling today, man? Sunday morning, we're just hanging out, drinking some beers, shooting the shit. A great morning for the Lakeshore Live podcast. How are you doing?
I'm feeling great, and I'm feeling even better because Julio Jones is questionable and has not practiced for 3 days. So, But even if he is going to play, even if he was going to play, dude, I think he's just missing because he's scared of Kyle Fuller. Honestly,
it might be.
Kyle Fuller. How about Jalen Johnson too?
Well, Jalen Johnson for Ridley, but see now Ridley's going to get the Kyle Fuller treatment. So I'm pretty chill this morning. I've been very chipper and I don't know. I've just been in a great mood. I'm ready for some football. I hate that I have to wait till 1 o'clock here.
Yeah.
It feels really weird kicking off at 1, but
I feel
that doing great.
And of course today, guys, we're going to get into our preview. Before we do that, just to run down the show, we're going to do our preview. We're going to get into our Staley's picks. We're going to give you the locks and how Staley's been doing so far. And Staley has been killing it. Ryan is making updates every week, and it's been fantastic. We're going to be obviously doing our Ryan's Corner. We're going to be testing some chips, and we're going to be having a fucking blast today. I'm really excited for today. I hope you guys enjoy the show. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. Bears Falcons, week 3. Cornerback AJ Terrell tested positive for COVID, and that obviously brought a scare to the team. But eventually, we were kind of everything ended up being good. Blake, what does this say to you about the protocol in the NFL right now? Because honestly, this is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said that he practiced on either Thursday or Friday or something like that. And I mean, he was, with the team, around the team. And, they quickly acted. They tested all these guys and nobody came back positive to our knowledge so far. But it's definitely scary because, what happens then? Do they reschedule? Do they then move it to a team's bye week? Or, did the Falcons have to forfeit? Because, I mean, what if it comes out then all of a sudden these guys are testing positive on Monday and there's half the team and then half the Bears team is testing positive? So it seems like they did the right thing in this circumstance. They acted quickly and they seem to have avoided any long-term issues. But, it's definitely scary. And that's just, the nature of the NFL season this year.
Yeah, look at this. We already got people asking about it. Chit segment is going to be later today.
Yeah, I think we're going to cap it off the show here. Yeah. Ryan said he wanted to do it as Ryan's Corner today. So we're going to do
Ryan's Corner, so at the end. But, honestly, what that says to me about the NFL is I know we were really optimistic this offseason, but so far they've been killing it. I think they've learned from the other sports that started before them. And the protocols that are in place seem to really be working. They did COVID tracing with the rest of the Falcons, and no one was in contact with AJ Terrell. So some really awesome stuff that is really going on in the NFL. Shows kind of how the protocols are working. And the first scare of the season, we're past it. We're through it, and we have a game today, which is fantastic. Other than that, Bears injury report, the only person questionable is Khalil Mack, who he's been having the same process the last 3 weeks. Khalil is gonna play. He's gonna be good to go.
Yeah, he's gonna be here. He said that in his press.
And he is ready to tear apart first-time starter, the right tackle over there at Atlanta.
That's right. Because
they're injured right now. Yeah, they're injured right now.
They're hurting all over the field right now, man. Because Caleb McGarry, that's their right tackle. I know he was I think a sprained MCL, and he'll be out for a few weeks there. But man, it's like you scroll down, like I'm looking on the Bears page at their injury report, and it's a lot of like full participants, a lot of just like precautionary stuff. And then you go down to the Falcons, and it seems like half of their team is on the injury report right now.
Yeah,
I mean Marlon Davidson, that was one of the rookies they're drafted this year. Julio, we talked a little bit about him. You don't know if he's going to go, but then I mean their safeties, both safeties, DeMonte Casey and Ricardo Allen. Ricardo Allen's out.
Fowler.
Yeah, I mean this is a team that is hurting right now, to say the
Week
least.
3 too, man. That's the worst part. Like last week was pretty rough for injuries though. So honestly, I feel pretty lucky as the Bears to make it out because last year we did not have that same luck.
The Bears have actually been really healthy so far this year. Like I mean, I don't even remember.
Knock on wood.
I don't have any.
Find some.
Yeah, but hold on. Speaking of injury, guys, Ryan brings up a good point. Last week was insane. Last week was ridiculous. I'm trying to find. Here we go. The Niners are going to be without Tevin Coleman, D Ford, Jimmy Garoppolo, D Greenlaw, George Kittle, Raheem Mostert. I mean, that's like their entire offense. So
next man up, baby.
For real. They're going to be giving the ball to Jarrett McKinnon. So if you're a fantasy guru, McKinnon is going to who you want to go for, or they have Jeff Wilson as well. So some options there. But yeah, tons of injuries across the league. The Bears have been lucky so far. Knock on wood. Everybody out there, knock on wood. But, you know, it's been lucky. Falcons are banged up too. This is a game that the Bears should take advantage of. And the Bears should ultimately be able to dominate from beginning to end, especially if Julio Jones is out. This is a game that the Bears should take care of business here. But, of course, they're away. And the Falcons can always be a tough team. We saw what they did to Dallas last week, and obviously starting 0-2, it's tough for them. But they are hungry for a win. Their backs are against the wall. It's going to be a scary game. Ultimately, Ryan, going to you, how are you feeling about the Falcons? Whenever Matt Ryan is quarterback, he could throw for 500 million yards.
Yeah, that's we haven't gotten to our score predictions. I don't want to ruin anything, but I wasn't very generous to the Bears this week because I'm very scared of Matt Ryan. Even if Julio Jones is out, I mean, he's a great quarterback, and they're going to have Calvin Ridley, who's been kind of lighting it up anyway. So, I don't know. Todd Gurley, our run defense has been a little bit lacking. So, I mean, I'm a little bit wary of the Falcons offense because they put up a lot of points this year already. But also, I mean, Bears back, baby. The defense is here. So, I don't know. I'm on this weird line of excited and optimistic and also very, like, realistic.
Yeah.
Hoping for Bears, like, to beat the shit out of them though. Like I really just want to be amped up going into Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I was going to pass over to Blake. Blake, what are your overall feelings? I want to ask you this actually. Jalen Johnson has been a stud. He has not only been one of the best defensive rookies in the league. He has been one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL through the first two seasons, playing suffocating defense. It almost looks like whenever he's playing man on someone, he never lets them get within 2 yards away from him. Do you see this as an actual possibility of him winning Defensive Rookie of the Year with guys like Patrick Queen, Chase Young, and other defensive rookies that are, really high caliber first round draft picks? Jalen Johnson, obviously drafted at number 50. Do you see him actually contending for Defensive Player of the Rookie this year, especially if he plays shutdown defense again today?
Yeah, I mean, he has to keep going on the trajectory that he is and hope guys don't really have big blow performances like Chase Young, man. That guy's an animal. But the thing about cornerback is it's kind of a loveless position. Like, you don't get all the love, you know what I mean? And you only really get noticed unless you're completely screwing up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the same thing with safety where it's, if you're getting burned, people are going to be calling you out, saying you're a horrible player. But if you're not, they're not really even seeing you on the TV. So it's going to be really tough for him to win it. But, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. I mean, if the Bears defense finishes as a top 5 unit and they win the division, and part of the main reason why is Jalen Johnson has a huge year and some interceptions mixed in and everything. I mean, he definitely can contend for it and he'll be in the mix. I mean, he's definitely in the mix as of even right now. But like I said, it's not – cornerback isn't a sexy award position. I know Stephon Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year last year. I don't know if there was really any other candidates that really stuck out last year to overthrow him for that. But it'll be tough, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's something that Jalen Johnson would have to have somewhat of a record year for a rookie to win this year, especially with how well that front four in Washington is playing and Chase Young is really leading the charge. But Jalen Johnson keeps doing what he's doing. He's number 2 in the league in pass I think it's pass defenses. Really killing it right now. And then we're going to be looking at him going forward as defensive player of the year or defensive rookie player of the year.
I did just look it up though. So in the last 20 years, only 2 cornerbacks have ever won the defensive rookie of the year. That was Marshawn Lattimore in 2017, and then Marcus Peters in 2015 for the Chiefs.
Okay.
I remember they had some big years. Like Marcus Peters had 8 interceptions his rookie year, which is like a huge number in general for any pro. So I mean that plays a big role in there, and that's the big indicator for a cornerback. I feel like if they're going to get an award or not, they have to be able to make those interceptions. They have to be able to have those passes defend. And if Jalen Johnson starts making some plays and getting some picks, he'll definitely throw his hat into the ring. But unfortunately, that's the number that people are looking for with cornerbacks. So it's hard when you got guys like Chase Young who are lining their hand up in the dirt and rushing the passer and getting those sacks, which are like, I would say, the sexy stats. You know what I mean? And then you got like linebackers like Darius Leonard, who is just racking up tackles his rookie year. So it's tough for cornerbacks. Not impossible, but very tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to think about too is 2018 when the Bears had all these interceptions, they were getting pressure on the quarterback. It seems like this year they're getting there, but they're not finishing the job. They're not getting those sacks. So, I don't know, Blake, I don't know how you're feeling about this so far. I'm kind of a little indifferent about it. Would you like to see the Bears bring more pressure, bring more than 4-man up front? We saw what happened. They brought Roquan up in the I think it was the second quarter against the Giants, and Khalil Mack went untouched into Daniel Jones. So would you like to see more pressure from the Bears today, especially if it's a close game at the end of the game, bringing more than 4 guys and depending on that suffocating secondary defense to kind of, get everything else covered?
Yeah, I would like to see some more sacks. I mean, more sacks is always great for the defense, right? That means your defense is getting off the field and making big plays. That usually leads to turnovers as well. So you want to see more sacks all the time. But the thing is, in the late game situations, it's really tough because if you do decide to blitz and you sit back in like a man blitz kind of thing, you take a huge risk against this Atlanta Falcons team, especially if Julio Jones plays, because Julio Jones can beat anybody deep at any time. So I like that. That worries me a little bit. And Kyle Fuller, while he has played at an all-pro level and he's one of the better corners in the league, there have been times where he's been beat, and Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. And if he can put the ball on the money to a guy like Julio Jones is going to go up and make that play. And same thing with what Calvin Ridley has done this season for the Falcons. That worries me a little bit, just sitting back in man coverage and just hoping that your guys can keep up with 2 of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I think that's tough. I don't think it's that impossible for the Bears secondary. It's one of the better secondaries in the league. But you don't want to lose a game on a potential 60-yard touchdown because you wanted to blitz an extra guy or 2. You know what I mean? Especially when you have a front 4 like the Bears that can generate pressure. But I'm with you. It has been a concern so far this year, late game. They haven't really gotten a lot of pressure. Teams have been pretty much sitting back. They've been sitting back in zone and been carved up. So, if that happens again, that's something that they have to look at and potentially switch. Because like we talked to JJ too this week, JJ Stankovich from NBC Sports this week on the podcast. You can check it out there. We got the link for Spotify, Apple, all that. And he talked about how, with a guy like Vic Fangio, that was something that they did more, where they were sending guys like Sherrick McManus off nickel blitzes and everything like that and mixing it up and being creative with those blitz packages. And I don't think we've really seen that thus far from Chuck Pagano. So yeah. I think there's a time and a place for it. You just got to, pick and choose your battles and when to use it. And hopefully that'll lead to more turnovers and sacks for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, I know Chuck likes to get pressure with those 4, but bringing another guy, even 5 rushers, it'll just with the front 4 that the Bears have, bringing one more guy up the middle is going to wreak havoc on offensive lines. They're going to get confused and not really know which person to focus double teaming on or which person to focus on. So hoping the Bears can get that pressure today. Ryan, I want to toss it over to you. We're also looking at some issues with Danny Trevathan as of late. He's been very slow. He has not been himself. What worries you the most? Todd Gurley is the running back. He's going to be matched up with Todd Gurley or Hayden Hurst, depending on what they do. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about your confidence with Danny Trevathan today? Obviously, he says he needs to get better. Do you believe that he can get better, or do you think maybe age is catching up with him, which is an issue because we signed him for the next couple of years?
Well, I mean, because we signed him for the next couple of years, I'm really hoping that maybe he comes out and is actually his old self today. But God, he has looked so bad. Like he looked like he's been running in like Play-Doh or something out there. I don't know. I'm more worried about Todd Gurley, honestly. Todd Gurley's chopped us up before. and he could do it again. I mean, it's like the Adrian Peterson conundrum, you know.
What are you drinking on, Ryan?
I got some Oktoberfest by Wiseacre out of Memphis.
Very nice.
Shout out Anthony Miller. Shout out Memphis.
Very nice.
Yeah, his Danny Trevathan's contract worries me a lot too. I don't know. We'll see, but just give me nickel all the time. Just give me all the defensive backs.
We're gonna need it. Yeah, we're gonna need it.
Our nickel package is
at the
dirty,
end of the
man.
game. Yeah, it is.
And I think with Danny Trevathan too, that's worrisome is that last year I think it was an elbow injury, so it's not like he had a season-ending like Achilles injury or knee injury at that age of 30. So you're kind of wondering where this drop off in speed is. You know what I mean? Like, was it just maybe an off season in which he didn't get to work out as much or do the type of things he likes to do? Is he coming in?
Did him dirty?
Well, that's what, like, you know, and it's not like he necessarily looks like he like ballooned in weight or like he's like out of shape necessarily. So it's like, it's just kind of confusing, like what happened in between those months that he seems to have lost a step because he's not like he's the oldest linebacker. And like I said, it was an elbow injury. It's not like it was a injury to the lower body. So it's just
a psychological thing.
Which is possible, and that might be like a thing where he has to play himself into game shape, and maybe you'll see that improve. But at the same time, it is concerning because, like just back to 8 months ago, or right before he injured his elbow, like he was one of the best players on the Bears defense. You know, he was the unsung hero of the Bears defense almost. You know, I mean, I look back at that play against the Redskins, like the Hezzy Hay sack he had. Like that was an unbelievable play, and it's an unbelievable athletic play, and he just doesn't look like he's had that same athletic ability so far this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really been interesting because Danny's been the leader. Roquan's kind of taken that over in terms of the player who's on there every down on the defense,
which is great. Can we talk about Roquan for a second?
Fantastic. He's been
I saw some all 22 tape from him last week. He beat who was the running back after Saquon went out?
Deion Lewis.
Yeah, he beat Deion Lewis to the edge, and Deion Lewis is not a slow guy. And like Roquan has just been all over the field, man. It feels like he's finally turning into that linebacker that we drafted. Yeah, and he's actually being more vocal. Him and Khalil Mack. Like my old roommates from Murfreesboro have been talking to me about how much more vocal they think Khalil Mack has been and just being a leader on the sidelines. And I noticed that as well. So
even in that clip when he was coming up to Mitch before last week too, you know, it's like even in his first year, it was kind of like that silent leadership, you know, lead by example, you know, go out and make plays and the guys will follow you kind of thing. But you're exactly right. I mean, he's going up to Mitch Trubisky. He's talking to guys on the sideline. I think it was week 1 against Detroit where he was like, you know, visibly like trying to get his guys fired up. And that's awesome to see because that's a guy that's getting paid more than anybody else on your roster. You traded everything in the world to try and get him here to bring him because he's a special talent. And he's not only going to be leading by example, but being a vocal leader too. And that goes a long way for this team for sure.
But we're seeing Roquan go from boy to man. I feel like this is a completely different player this year. I feel like last year was kind of like last year was his second year, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. It seemed like last year he was still kind of like he would show his flashes, but he's been much more consistent this year, and he seems like he's actually turning into that middle linebacker we want in Chicago that we're all used to.
Yeah, I mean, and he's even been upgraded. He's got the little green dot, I think, on the back of his helmet. So he's the one that's calling in the plays. He's the one that's talking directly to the defensive play caller, you know? So
that's what you want to see too, dude. That is so exciting. Like we love a good middle linebacker in Chicago.
Exactly.
I mean, you kind of got the sense his rookie year too that like you saw him play and you're like, all right, this guy's going to be a linebacker in Chicago. He is going to be here for a long time. He is going to fill. He may not be up to their potential, but he's going to fill Urlacher's shoes. He's going to fill Lance Briggs' shoes. You know, he is going to be that next staple middle linebacker in Chicago. And he's playing really well.
Bears by 50.
Let's go, Albero. That's it. But yeah, basically, like Roquan is going to be. I just called Albero Albo. I'm so sorry, Albero. You know I love you. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Roquan does this year. He is that all-pro type of linebacker, and I just feel like it's a matter of time before he becomes an all-pro player, a Pro Bowl player. He is fast, he is very smart, and he knows where to be. And
he's young.
He has a soft side. You guys saw that picture
with the sunflower?
Can we pull that up? Do we have that somewhere? The picture with the sunflower. He's just like in the sunflower patch. Like,
do we think Roquan gets a sack today, boys? What's the consensus?
It depends how much Chuck blitzes. If he blitzes once, no. But if he blitzes a couple times, then yeah. I mean,
Roquan, he seems like he might be turning into the player where he'll turn a coverage snap into a blitz snap when he sees something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
exactly.
I think he's gonna start doing that shit because he's fast, dude. Roquan is a quick dude, so if he sees an opening, I hope he just takes it. Oh, there we go.
There's Roquan in the
Roquan, there he is, baby.
He is
Just
the soft side.
This is our star middle linebacker, baby, Roquan Smith.
Can we get Flower Boy in the chat?
Amazing.
Flower Boys in the chat.
Amazing.
Hashtag boys with the flowers, boys.
That's amazing.
We're getting
But
our flowers in 2020.
that's our hardcore, that's hilarious.
Hashtag Flower Boy Row.
Yeah, but Roquan is going to have to try to pick up the slack of Danny Trevathan, especially if they run nickel packages. Danny's going to be out a little often. We'll see how he does. Danny is still a very smart, very good player.
I like him for his leadership. At this point, he's always been like, I mean, I've talked about it before. I would run through a brick wall for Danny Trevathan, but he's not like the loud rah-rah, like rah-rah, kick him in the knee type of guy. He's more like I'm gonna get your mind stimulated and your body's gonna follow.
Yeah. And go ahead.
You got to remember too. This is one of the initial signings that Ryan Pace had when he was trying to build a culture. And so, Danny Trevathan means a lot to that Bears locker room and culture.
Yeah.
That was one of the initial signings where they brought in and they wanted that guy to be a leader. That they brought him in when John Fox was the head coach. That was a lot of familiarity with John Fox and Big Fangio, and that was the guy that they wanted to mold their defense around. That was the starting point, I feel like, for the Bears defense. So he means more than just what his play on the field is to this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And those two guys, hopefully Danny can turn it around and they'll have a good game today because it is going to be needed against a very high-powered Falcons offense. Even if Julio Jones is out, they still have Russell Gage and Calvin Ridley. It's going to be quite the matchup to watch. Hopefully the Bears can keep it going. Obviously they had some issues in the middle of the field, but hopefully they can stay pat and produce a good game today on defense. Moving to the offensive side of the football, and a comment I saw earlier today. Let me see, where is it? Here it is from Jesse. Rookies get more touches. Mooney is going to have his touches today, but Kmet is the one. We saw a report earlier today that Nagy said that he's been getting Kmet into the offense more, and now he's going to let him go. So we're hoping for some more Cole Kmet touches. Jimmy Graham is going to be out there as well, but I think in the red zone, we're going to see some Cole Kmet today. Guys, how are we feeling about Kmet? And do we feel like he can make a really big impact on this team as he gets more touches on the offensive side of football?
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
We need a tight end, dude. We have been tight end deficient since he who shan't be named got rid of Greg Olsen back in the day. We need the same way we need a middle linebacker. We need a tight end, dude. I want Cole Kmet to start going off. Feed him some touches and get Jimmy Graham off my field. I know that, Austin, you like Jimmy Graham and you think he's going to be a big player this year, but get him off of my field. He wore a Packers helmet. I can't look at him the same.
So you're just any Packers, you're just against them.
Look,
So did you hate? Wait, did Julius Peppers come here and then go to the Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate him even more because.
What about Adrian Amos then?
We don't talk about him.
Yeah, we don't talk about. We don't even know who that is.
Never heard of.
We don't even know who that is.
Adrian Amos.
Adri.
I like Amos.
Hey,
Amos chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
How about this? A Rubinek. That's a bold pick right there. Cole was 65 yards and 1 touchdown. How about that?
That would be a big day from him.
That would be a big day.
Here's a question: more likely to score today, Demon or A-Rob? I'm going to throw in another option. Both.
I could definitely.
With how bad the Falcons' defense is, both.
I got a hot take here today. I think David Montgomery has over 100 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns today.
He came online last week. I think that was his coming of age party there.
Well, it's the whole offense is coming of age party right now because you're seeing that identity form. And we've been saying it for a couple of weeks. This is not something we saw at all last year. And even the year prior, we had moments where you saw the offense clicking, but it's still that was Matt Nagy's vision for that Kansas City Andy Reid offense. And now you're seeing a whole different, reversal of what he was trying to do based on his personnel. And you're seeing it in the offensive line. You're seeing it in the running backs. You're seeing this commitment to the running game. And today, against a Falcons defense that has been hemorrhaging yards in the running game, or they've been hemorrhaging yards in the passing game, but they're banged up either way, even on the inside and outside. So it's a prime spot for David Montgomery to have a huge game.
Yeah,
and that receiving touchdown last week, dude, just got me fucking pumped. I saw shades of Matt.
Haven't seen something like that since Matt Forte. That was awesome.
And that was awesome. Oh my goodness, that took me back. And so I'm really excited for the future of the offense. I feel like this is the first time as a Bears fan that I'm really, really excited to look at the offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they come out on the field, it's not here goes the 3 and out. I'm ready for the defense to get back on the field. It feels like, okay, somebody's about to do something. I don't know who it is because we have so many weapons.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, even in like these last 2 games, like even though it has been up and down and very frustrating at times, like I still see the offense being better than it was last year. Because like even in that Lions game where Mitch started 5 of 13 or 8 of 20, it's not like they weren't moving the ball. Like, they didn't end up scoring points, but they weren't just, the typical 3 and out. Okay, like let's run on first down. All right, either a loss of 2 or a gain of 1. Then the next play, Mitch is going to sail the ball over somebody's head. And
our line is actually blocking.
Oh, right, exactly. Like it looks like a functioning NFL offense at times. And I think back to last year and how many games did we watch where we would go the first half or wait until the beginning of the third quarter for the offense to do anything at all. So there's a lot of bright spots here. It's just got to be put together for a full 4 quarters. And we're going to keep saying it until they actually do it.
I want to ask you guys, moving over to the offensive side of the football for this game. Blake, I'm going to go right to you for this. What warrants a good game from Mitchell Trubisky? Like realistic expectations, what warrants a good day from Mitchell Trubisky?
So are you looking for like a stat line here?
Yeah, stat line. Give me your baseline stats for a good game from Mitch today.
No turnovers. I think no turnovers key, but obviously you have to include context because last week he had 2 interceptions and I didn't think they were necessarily both his fault. But for me personally, I'm looking at like give me 250 yards and a couple touchdowns. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an efficient game. I'm looking for a completion percentage that is between 60 to 70%, and just be able to control the ball. Because that's the Falcons' offense. The Falcons are a high-powered offense. So, if they get the ball and you give them the ball multiple times without being able to do anything on offense, your defense is going to get gas, and you're not going to be able to keep up with guys like Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. So I want to see these sustained drives where we're completing passes, moving the chains, and making plays. And that's what Mitchell Trubisky will have to do today for me to have a good game. I just want some efficiency from him.
Ryan, give me your baseline stats for Mitch Trubisky.
I'm not even looking for like.
We're gonna go over our jerseys in here. We got some good jerseys today. Go ahead.
I'm not even looking for 250 plus yards. I'm looking for more of the completion percentage from Blake and more of the. I guess it would be nice to see a lot of yards with some good rack from the receivers. If we can put together some rack plays, like if Mitch Trubisky can start being a little more accurate with the ball in these plays where receivers have the whole field in front of them, that'd be great. But I'm looking for completion percentage and like 2 touchdowns because I trust the running game at this point. Also, I'm making a bold take or a bold prediction here. We got a punt return touchdown coming our way today.
Ooh, so you're saying Tariq?
Tariq, he's going to show off that extension money. He's going to get in the end zone. He's going to fan himself with it.
Hey, yeah.
Right, so bold takes today. Let's get him out. Andy, if you're listening. Oh, Usaid. Yo, I got to give a shout out to Usaid. He was just in Pakistan and he's back. He's been covering the Bears even in Pakistan. Shout out to Usaid. Thanks for tuning into the stream, buddy. Happy to have you back in the States. All right, so here we go. Bold take. We got bold takes. Andy, if you're listening, Blake has your bold take is
100 yards and 2 tutties for Dave Montgomery.
Ryan, bold take. We have a punt return today. My bold take is we have a pick 6 today. Ryan, if you're listening, throw those out on Twitter. Guys, throw us your bold takes today if you have them. Josh Lyons is one of my best friends. 150 yards, 2 TDs, so Austin sends me trade offers for them. He has David Montgomery in our fantasy league, and if he does that, I might send him some trade on. I'm known as the trader in our fantasy league, and he's gonna be giving me shit for that. But yeah, we'll see what happens, Josh. David Montgomery might have a good day today. All right, keys to the game, boys. Keys to the game, offense and defense. Let's get into it. I'll start on this. Offense, keys to the game. I'm gonna say this every freaking week. Run the damn ball and establish a running game. You got to keep it going. You got to run the ball, and you have to be efficient for Mitch to open up. We've seen Mitch is a little shaky still from the shotgun. Mitch does his best work this season from under center, from the play action, and that's when he completes most of his passes. Establish the run and let Mitch go. That'll allow the Bears to move the ball. Blake, I'll pass it to you. What are your keys to the game for the offense?
I'm with you. I think that's the key to the game is commit to the running game and run the ball successfully, because if they can do that and they can chew up the clock and have these longer possessions and keep that Atlanta offense off the field, they're going to win this game. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm hoping it's going to happen because we've seen so much good running this season so far. And, it hasn't been like that big blow up game yet. And I'm thinking that this could be it. And that's why I made my bold prediction with David Montgomery. because I mean last week 16 carries for 81 yards, but he had that awesome receiving touchdown. I want to see a 20 to 25 carry game out of him. And we'll get into Andy's over and under because we have a good one for that. But I want to see them really commit to the rock. I want to see everybody mixing into the running game. And he said Mitch going to have a rushing touchdown today. We'll take that too. We'll take all the rushing we can get from the Bears.
All the tutties.
So, I'm with you, Austin. I think offensively that's the key to the game is commit to David Montgomery and get that running game working because it's been very successful so far for them this year.
Ryan, going to you. Keys to the offense today.
I have one simple key to the offense, boys. All of y'all's I agree with, but mine is catch the ball. No, none of these like gimme drop passes. That happens, Bears win the game. Easy.
All right,
defense. Let's move into it. Defensive keys to the game. There's going to be a lot here. We're going to go reverse order. Ryan, starting with you. Keys to the game on the defensive side of the football.
Can you give me one of those reverses one more time? That was nice.
Hold on. Reverse the order.
There you go. I mean, it's the same as last week. I think it's the linebackers and how they can perform against the run in the short passing game.
Yeah. All right, Blake, throwing it over to you. Oh, Julio's officially out.
Julio's out.
Thank you, Usaid. Julio is officially out.
All right, well, that's an absolute changer for the Bears.
I got to change my score prediction.
All right, key to the game for the Bears. Don't worry about Julio Jones. Just stop Calvin Ridley because I'm not worried. I mean, I know Ryan said he was worried about Todd Gurley. I'm not worried about Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley looks older, is slow. His knees aren't quite the same. So I'm not as much worried about him. I think the Bears' run defense it was better last week. Week 1, it was a little tough. But with no Julio Jones, pretty much most of your attention in the secondary is going to go to Calvin Ridley, who's had an unbelievable start to the year. Russell Gage is another guy too. He's been good, but I mean, it's a totally different story when you got Julio and Calvin Ridley to worry about because Julio Jones, I don't care who he's going up against, whether it's Stephon Gilmore, Darrell Reeves, Charles Woodson. Like Julio Jones is one of the best wide receivers to play in this millennia. So like he's going to get his at some point if you let him. So with him being out, that plays a huge role because then you can focus all that attention onto Calvin Ridley. So I think the key to the game today is just slow down Calvin Ridley and force them to go elsewhere, I guess.
And here's the thing about that too. If you're playing fantasy, I would say pick up Russell Gage and play him, but he's going to go up against Jalen Johnson. So like, I don't key to the game. This is fantastic. Yeah. Key to the game. Let Atlanta go up by 20 and they'll blow it. That is.
That's a big brain.
I see no way that the Bears will lose that game if they go down 20.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like a lock. Like if they go down 20, they're going to win the game. So, but yeah, keys to the game on defense for sure. It has to be for me. I'm always about the run. It has to be stopping Todd Gurley. You stop Todd Gurley. That means that, you're going to have to force Matt Ryan to throw the ball against Kyle Fuller or Jalen Johnson. Ultimately, I think stopping Todd Gurley for one, the game, and two, my fantasy team would be fantastic. I think we would win the game, and maybe I would win my fantasy game if they shut down Todd Gurley. So Todd Gurley hasn't had the greatest start to his season. Obviously a very tough draw today, but they've played Dallas and Seattle, two very tough draws. They were in, pass heavy game scripts for most of the game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see what happens against a low scoring Bears offense if they establish the run or if they continue to pass and attack the DBs. But that's our key to the game. We're going to get into our player of the game predictions. We had some pretty good predictions last week. So let's get into them. Offensive and defensive player of the games. Ryan, I'm going to throw it to you.
Offensive, I'm sticking with my boy Tariq. I think I got a feeling, they're in Georgia, they're in Atlanta. I'm right on the Georgia-Tennessee line, so like I can feel the energy a little bit coming from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's where they're at, right? Mercedes-Benz.
Yep.
Yes.
I can feel the energy. I can feel Tariq Cohen radiating some winner energy today. So I think he's going to be our offensive player of the game. Am I going also defensive right now too?
Give me defensive too. We'll do both.
Defensive. Khalil Mack. I think this is a game where Khalil Mack comes out and proves that he's worth the money that we paid him.
All right. Blake.
Offensively, I already said it's my bold prediction of the game. David Montgomery's going to have a huge game. So he will be my player of the game offensively. Defensively, I'm going to go Kyle Fuller. I think if there is a pick six, Austin, like you predicted, I think it's going to be a Kyle Fuller play. because I think they're going to be going at him. He's probably going to be lined up on Calvin Ridley a lot, and especially with Julio out, they're going to be targeting him. That's the guy they're going to be going after in the passing game. So Kyle Fuller, I think, will be the player to watch for me.
All right, give me, for my offensive player of the game, give me Allen Robinson. I think it's just going to be a huge day for Bears wide receivers. I think all of them have big days. I'm hoping Anthony Miller has a big bounce back as well.
Who was my player of the game last week? So that was not one of our good predictions. That was rough.
Defensive side of the football, I'm going to go Eddie Jackson. I think Eddie is hungry for that pick six after last week. So I think he's going to be out for blood. Nick, give us that player of the game. He's got Jimmy Graham and defense Kyle Fuller. That's some good picks there. Bold prediction, Bears up by 10 at the half. Some good predictions, guys.
Give us all your players of the game.
Yeah, give us your players game in chat. All right, also let us know what jerseys you're wearing today, boys. What jerseys are we wearing? Blake has the best one for sure, 100%. He's got Arlington Hambright, our guy.
I'm going to try and get him on the show, too. I got to reach out to him because that's my boy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Arlington Hambright. I've got, of course, our king, Jay Cutler. The last time we beat the Falcons, Jay Cuddy went for 387 yards. So I'm supporting our king and hoping that our guy, Mitch Trubisky, has a day similar to that and we beat the Falcons. But, all right, guys, before we get into Staley's picks, much anticipated, we're going to get into our over-unders from our wonderful social media manager on Twitter, Andy Heck. You can follow him at airheck006 on Twitter. Starting with the turnovers forced. Ryan, I'm starting with you. Turnovers forced over, and in the chat, you guys let us know over or under on each selection. Turnovers forced over or under 2. Ryan, I'm starting with you.
Shit, man. I don't know. I wish this was like 2.5, because if it was 2.5, I would say an easy under, because I think there's going to be 2. But just to be a homer, give me 3. Like, give me the over, because Matt Ryan's going to try to force the ball. Kyle Fuller's going to be suffocating. I think we're going to get a fumble somewhere. So give me the over.
Deborah, that's a classic.
Can never go wrong with the Hester jersey.
Shout out
Evan Hester bobblehead, baby. The greatest.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod.
Former guest of the pod as well. That was fantastic. Yes. All right, Blake, over under 2 turnovers. Hit me.
I'm kind of feeling the same as Ryan here because I thought that 2 number is a pretty solid one, but I'll go the over just because I don't think 1 turnover is going to be it. I just don't see there any way being under 2 turnovers. So I'll take the over there.
Yeah, I'm going to go over 2 against the Falcons offense, who's going to be without Julio Jones. Matt Ryan is probably going to get a lot of pressure. The right tackle is out. We have the second string right tackle against Khalil Mack. It's going to be a very tough day for Atlanta to hold this Bears defense. It's going to be up to the offense to really score some points and get ahead. But I'm going to go with the over 2 turnovers. So let's do it. Alex has it's either 3 or 0. No in between. Show that comment. Either 3 or 0. There's no in between. I'm kind of with him on that. I mean, maybe 3 or 0. Maybe we get 1. Who knows? I'm going to say over 2. Let's get into the next one. Mitch touchdown passes. This is a good one. Over under 3 Mitch touchdown passes. Blake, I'm going to hand it over to you.
I got the under. There. I think I predicted, I think at 250 and 2 touchdowns is the game I'd say I'd be happy with his performance. But, I mean, it's not impossible because the secondary for the Falcons has been bleeding. I mean, Russell carved them up in week 1, and then Dak had that amazing second half. So it's not impossible, but I'm predicting this big game for David Montgomery, which means they're going to commit to the running game. So I'll go the under on the 3 touchdowns.
Okay. I dig it. Ryan.
I'm going to go under as well. I think we have a solid game from our rushers. I think Trubisky doesn't have to do a whole lot.
Yeah, Chad's got your thinking, Ryan. He's got under 3 T's, big run day today. I'm going to say the over. I think it's a big pass game today. I think we get maybe 1 touchdown from David Montgomery or the runners. Maybe Cordell Patterson breaks a pitch to the house. But I'm going to say over.
So you're saying 4 tutties. That's a lot of tutties.
Let me see those tutties from Mitch Trubisky. He loves kissing tutties. Let's see it.
Hammer the
over. Ty, this is a Lakeshore Live comment right here, fellas. Hammer the over. Mitch is back, baby. That's what we like to see. I'm going to go with the over. All right, fellas. Rushing attempts. Over under 25 rushing attempts for the Chicago Bears.
Over, baby.
Yeah,
over.
I'm going to go.
Come on.
Bears are going to take the lead in the passing game, and they're going to, I think, establish the run. They have to establish the run. I'm a big run guy, so hammering the over. Andy, thank you again, guys. I just posted the over-unders on Twitter as well. If you guys want to go comment on those, you can participate there as well. Thank you for participating in the chat. We'll be doing those each week. That said, we're going to be getting into our general NFL stuff. Combined with 3 backs too, David Montgomery, Tariq Cohen, and Cordero Patterson. All right, guys, let's get into it. It is our favorite segment. It is Staley's segment. Staley, our AI, is here. Ryan, explain to the viewers who Staley is, and then let's get into the picks. Go ahead.
Staley takes stats from teams for the first 2 games. It puts them into a fancy algorithm, and it spits out a winner for the game. Pretty simple stuff.
It's anything but simple.
It really is.
It's anything but
simple. All off
simple.
season to code this shit. So yeah, it's Ryan is a very smart human being, and he took all off season to code this, and it is one of the coolest things that I have seen in the sports world. So Ryan,
And he's been hot.
And
Let's not let that get swept under the rug because he had a big win for you, Austin, last week.
Yes, I took all 5 Staley Surefire selections at my own risk, and I won the parlay 5-0. Staley is 8-2 on the Surefire selections, 21-11 on its picks overall.
Staley works for MGM.
Yeah, that's a hilarious one. Ryan, without further ado, let's get into Staley's picks this week. Going down the line.
All right, down the line. This is just coming from the 2020 schedule on Pro Football Reference, so just go straight down. Dolphins over the Jaguars. Already got that one right. It's 3 out of 5.
There we go.
Staley says the Falcons over the Bears. 3 out of 5.
Boo, Bailey. Boo.
Hey, it's only a 3 out of 5, though. It's not a surefire.
It's 3 out of 5. And let's keep in mind, this doesn't take into account injuries. This just takes into account stats right now. So, Bills over the Rams, 4 out of 5. Bold pick, Staley. I also agree with it. Washington over the Browns, 5 out of 5. That's our first lock of the week.
Washington. And just so you guys know, if you guys, again, if you look at the money lines, the Browns are minus 270 favorites right now. So a very bold, surefire selection from Staley. We'll see if it pays off.
Next, we got the second lock of the week. We got the Titans over the Vikings.
Very nice.
Go Tits.
Go Tits, baby.
Patriots over the Las Vegas Raiders, 4 out of 5. 49ers over the Giants, 3 out of 5. Also does not take into account injuries. Keep that in mind. Bengals over the Eagles, 3 out of 5. Steelers over the Texans. That's our third lock of the week. Let's see here. Let me find my place. Colts over the Jets. 4th lock of the week.
Ooh, okay.
Chargers over the Panthers, 4 out of 5. And Cardinals over the Lions. That's our fifth lock. I think that's our 5th and final lock of the week. Nope, there's one more lock. Nope, that was the last lock, actually. Nope, one more lock. Bucks over the Broncos. That's our last lock of the week.
All right.
So let's talk about our.
Still got 3 more games. 3 more games, boys. Okay. Seahawks over the Cowboys, 3 out of 5. Packers over the Saints, 3 out of 5. Ravens over the Chiefs, 4 out of 5.
All right.
So let's go down our surefire selections here.
So we got go ahead.
We've got so let's start it. Washington over the Browns. Surefire selection. How are we on that? That's a bold pick for me for a surefire selection. I'm not going to go against Staley, but Washington actually has a chance. I think they're better than a lot of people say. Obviously didn't look good against the Cardinals, but the Cardinals are beasts. I do think this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think look. I think that Washington defense fucks. That Washington defense is solid. That front seven is raw. So, I think on any given Sunday, if they come out and they have the ability to take over a game with all that talent they have up there. So I think that automatically gives them a shot. I was shocked that Cleveland gave Cleveland or 7-point favorites. I thought that was pretty hefty, considering that they had a tough battle with the Bengals, and then they got smacked week 1 against the Ravens. And in the the Washington football team, my apologies, they beat the Eagles. The Eagles looked like trash, and I don't know who would win between the Eagles and the Browns. So I feel like they no doubt have a chance in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be a good game for sure. And then next we have Titans over the Vikings. I think that's a pretty good surefire selection. The Vikings have been terrible this offseason. Even the Titans without even the Titans without AJ Brown, I think they're going to be able to run the ball and give the ball to guys like Jonnu Smith on my fantasy team. And
Anthony Barr is out, I'm pretty sure. They lost depth on the defensive line. And
it's not like their defense was looking very strong before that, too. So losing a guy like Anthony Barr, who's a key piece there, hurts a lot.
So basically the Vikings are back.
Yeah, the Vikings,
exactly where we expect them to be.
Yep, exactly.
#Vikings back.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say with I think that's just a perfect game where the Titans are just going to run through the Vikings. Like I don't see any shot that the Vikings win that game.
And then we got the Colts over the Jets and the Bucks over the Broncos. With injuries to the Broncos, I think that's pretty good for the Bucks. And then, of course, Colts over the Jets. Anybody over the Jets is a surefire selection. The last one,
it's 11.5. The spread's 11.5 in that game.
Tough. And then
the Colts haven't even looked that good.
Yeah, they haven't, but the Jets just suck.
Hey, but let's not forget Adam Gase said they're going into hyperdrive this week. So
yeah, and they have Frank Gore, so
it's over.
They have the third all-time leading rusher. That always works, right?
The last one, Steelers over the Texans. I mean, how we feel about that? I know it's a confident pick, but that Steelers defense is killer. I kind of like that. I think the Steelers are going to be able to handle business. I don't like Deshaun Watson without DeAndre Hopkins. He doesn't really have any wide receivers, so I kind of like that pick.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson's been running for his life so far this year too. And I mean, let's not forget that Pittsburgh has maybe the best pass rush in the NFL and the best defense in the NFL. So if they can't block them, they're going to have a long day. So I love the Steelers in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. That's our surefire selections. I just tweeted them out, so they're out there on Twitter. You can go check them out. We'll put them on Facebook as well. With that said, let's move into our locks of the week. We're going to be giving our lock bet of the week, our spread of the week. Ryan, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Your NFL lock of the week, throw it to me.
All right, my lock of the week, everybody, is the Titans over Minnesota -3. I think that's an easy line. Yeah, not a whole lot to be said. We kind of talked about it a few minutes ago, but yeah, Titans over the Vikings in Minnesota. No home team advantage. Usually Minnesota has a pretty good advantage at home, but
not this year.
Not this year.
Not when they got Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
Yeah, and you know what? They got Titans have Derrick Henry. So I mean, yeah, Titans over the Vikings -3, easy pick. That's my lock of the week.
Yeah.
Blake.
All right, so I was just talking about the Steelers-Texans, and this is how much I love the Steelers this week. I got the Steelers as my lock of the week at home versus the Texans. It's no secret that the last few years, Big Ben's been kind of a different player when playing in Pittsburgh versus playing on the road. So I think this is just the perfect spot for the Steelers to have one of those big games where the defense goes crazy. I just think that they're a better team, and that defense is on another level right now, and Houston has shown that they're not – even though they've invested all these resources in protecting Deshaun Watson, it's still not looking like they're protecting Deshaun Watson. So I got the Pittsburgh Steelers getting after it this week.
Absolutely. Going to be a tough one for Houston to kind of get back on track. They've had a really tough start to the season. The Chiefs, the Ravens, and now the Steelers. That's a brutal first 3 games. For me, I'm going to go with let me pull it up. Pulling it up. Blake, throw it up for me.
Boom.
I forgot. I had to look. All right, it's my guy, Kyler Murray. I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan this year. I'm a huge Cardinals guy. Come on. You're giving me Cardinals -5.5 over the Lions. Like, come on. I'm taking that all day. Cardinals by 2 scores today. Lions.
Hey, all of these are locks from Staley too.
Yeah. So
that we just found out. So
we're riding the Staley train hard right now.
Baby. Staley's hot, and we're gonna ride Staley.
I want to say that y'all didn't know Staley's locks though. Austin did because I gave it to him for the graphic. But hey, look, I don't want to say that Staley fucks, but
he's
Staley fucks.
Staley fucks.
That's a bold prediction right there.
Yeah, Kyler for MVP. It could happen. The way he's running on the ground right now could.
I think he's going to be in the conversation. He's too electric, man. It's
been an unbelievable start for him. I mean, obviously, you got to see it keep up throughout the season. But I mean, man, when you're using your legs like that and being able to throw the ball through the air, it's tough not to. I mean, we saw it last year with Lamar Jackson. It was the same kind of thing where just doing it in all facets of the game.
Yep. All right, it's that time. It is that much anticipated time. Joe, thank you so much.
Joe.
Shout out, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. All right, Angry Belichick -6.5. No, Alex. This is Alex. No
I
way.
actually was very close to picking the Raiders this week because I think the Raiders are looking like a solid team right now.
Baby. All right, let's get into it. Blake, if you want to hide that banner, we can get right into the much
It's time. It's time
of today.
Oh, man.
Again, if you guys listen to our
don't open them yet, Blake.
I'm not opening them. I'm just getting them nice and close.
Every single Thursday, we have an audio podcast on Lakeshore Live. It's on every platform. You guys see it on the left side. Please like, subscribe, rate. We would love you guys to check that out. We have a lot of fun on that podcast every week, and on top of our live shows. So check that out. But This is Ryan's corner, and Ryan went off this week on chips. So Ryan, without further ado, take it away on your corner for our chip flight.
All right, so my number one to spoil it for the big board this week was the Zapp's Voodoo chips. So if you've heard of these, you know that these are like a top 5 chip in the whole entire world. If you've heard of the Voodoo chip, if you like the Voodoo chip, can you just give me a Voodoo in chat, please? But Blake had never tried it. Blake took the liberty of ordering it on Amazon, and I really love the dedication. Corey likes the Voodoo chips. Shout out Corey. So, all right, Blake, do you want to try these first?
I kind of want to try these last because, okay, so like what happened was I ordered them on Amazon and I accidentally, like I thought they were going to be like 6 smaller bags, but I accidentally ordered like 6 big bags. So I had 6 bags of these Voodoo chips. So I was like giving them out to like my sister, my stepbrother, like just giving them out where I could. And they were all eating them in front of me and talking about how amazing they were. And I held out. I didn't have any. They've been staring me in the face now for 3 days. So I think I want to do that one last.
All right. Now, before we start, let me give you the proper chip tasting technique here. The CTT. All right. So you pop the bag, give it a sniff. Because a lot of your taste comes from your sense of smell. Okay. Give it a sniff. Kind of pick up the notes that you're getting. Take a breath in. Get ready. Cleanse the palate with a drink, possibly.
Okay. Got my water right here.
Okay. Now, do you have a soda or a beer possibly? Because
I have a Sprite Zero in the corner of my room. Does that work?
You gotta clear your palate. You need a soda.
All right. Give me a second. You
gotta clear the palate.
The Voodoo is quite potent. You need a hell of a drink to go afterwards.
Yes.
All right. I'm ready.
All right, we're ready. All right, Blake, before we do it real quick, just lay out the chips you're trying, and then Ryan and Blake take it away.
I had to pivot
but
a
after
little
you
bit.
take a bite of your chip, while you're chewing it, you take a deep breath in.
Suck in all that flavor.
Yeah, well, not through your mouth, through your nose.
Through my nose.
Chew it. Get it all over. Swallow it. Think about it. Don't say anything. And then take a breath through the mouth. And then that's how you'll. Okay.
All right. Well, I just want to give a rundown. I had to switch up a little bit. Ryan had these on his number 3 on his big board as well. The spicy sweet chili Doritos. Never had those. Another one on his list too that I got is the jalapeno, cheddar jalapeno crunchy Cheetos. So
you had my whole list, dude.
I know. Well, that's like I had to pivot a little bit. I was trying to get some honey Dijon kettle cooked chips that I had recommended to me, but the store didn't have them, so I had to pivot a little bit. And then I got these Kettle Brand Farm Stand Ranch. So we're going to try these as well. And then last but not least, as you saw, the Voodoo Zapp's chips. So, all right, Ryan, which one should I start with? Which one is the one that it will be the easiest you think to start
Let's start out with the kettle chips and then go in order of my list 3, 2, 1. So,
okay. All right. So
Doritos, jalapeno Cheetos, Voodoo.
So here we go. We're going to do the Farm Stand Ranch.
Never had
off here.
You're going to have to describe it for all of us and give us I want a rating from 1 to 10 on each one of these.
All right. I'm gonna do my number 1 was Cheetos this week, so that'll be the mark. So 10 is Cheetos, and then we'll go from there. So
little did I know, my fiance is also a chip connoisseur.
All right, Farm Stand Ranch Kettle Brand potato chips. Honestly, they don't have much of a smell in the bag. Like it kind of just smells like a regular potato chip, so that's a little disappointing. But
kettle cooked chips though, Kettle Brand.
Yeah,
chips.
kettle. Yeah. Good. So all right, here we go.
You got a foldy. All right, nice.
Ooh, nice that sounds good. That sounds good.
These are pretty good. It's not a ton of ranch flavor, but it's just that enough that adds like a little bit of almost like saltiness to it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
it's a compliment to the potato.
Yeah, it is. It's not like I wouldn't say like it completely tastes like ranch.
Thank you, Alex. That's the comment of the day, dude.
All right. Breakfast of champions. Yeah, that's right. 10 a.m. eating chips, bro.
Sprite Zero.
Don't get better than that. Oh, got to cleanse the palate, of course.
Would you give that out of 10? The kettle cooked.
Out of 10. It's not bad, and like I would definitely eat them, but I wouldn't say it's like one of the great chips. So I'll give it probably like a 6. Maybe a 7, maybe a 7, like on a generous one. Like I could definitely like if you put a bowl of that in front of me, like I'm eating those chips, no doubt.
Okay.
But
so they're not go back for them.
Yeah, not one of my favorites though. So
those are the Kettle Ranch.
Yeah, those are the kettle cooked farm stand ranch. So all right, What are we doing now? Should I do the cheddar jalapeno or the spicy sweet chili?
Spicy sweet chili.
All right, so here we go. This was number 3, right on your big board?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Give him a little sniff. What are you picking up?
I like the smell. I definitely like the smell. You can definitely smell like the different like spicy and sweetness kind of combining in there, kind of making some sort of baby in here.
Also, the purple.
The Doritos, what?
The spicy sweet chili.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So here we go. A lot of flavor in it for sure. Ooh, okay. That's an aftertaste because it kind of starts out a little bit sweet, but then you get hit with the spice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a complex chip. I'm telling you. That's why
It is.
OG.
I wasn't really expecting that too, but
It's an experience.
because like when you really do bite into it, you don't really taste the spice at all. But then all of a sudden you're chewing a little bit, it starts to come out a little bit. No, these are good. I think I like the regular nacho Doritos and the spicy nacho ones. I think the most, but I think it's probably the 3rd best Dorito I've had.
I'd say they're the most interesting Dorito.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Like I would, if I had to choose between this and like Cool Ranch, I'm taking this every single time.
So give me a rating. Give me a rating out of 10 on those.
So if these were on the table with the ranch ones, I would probably eat these.
Okay.
So I'm leaning more towards a 7 on these ones.
Okay.
So
7 out of 10.
I'll say that those are good though. I like it.
All right.
All right.
Let's get the Cheetos going now.
All right.
We're gonna do the voodoo at the same time. We're gonna have a group experience.
I'm so
here.
excited for that. I don't think I've ever been so excited to try a chip in my entire life than those Voodoo Zaps chips. Because, like I said, I gave those bags to people and I refrained, and everyone is telling me that they're the most addicting chips they've had. So, all right. So now we got the cheddar jalapeno crunchy Cheetos here.
Did you palate cleanse?
I did. Let me do one more just for old measure. You got to get it like out of the teeth a little bit because those chips will sit in your teeth a little bit.
That's right.
So, all right. I'll get a nice little girthy one here. Look at that. That's a girthy boy.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. You see that little seasoning on there, too?
Oh, yeah. All the
Looking pretty.
crevices.
Watch out, Jewel Osco. Watch out. All right, so here we go. Cheddar jalapeno. Oh, yeah. That's good.
How is it compared to regular Cheetos?
I think I'm a diehard Cheeto guy until the day I die, but these are really good. This is like an 8 or a 9, I think.
Yeah, those are
me.
some.
These are really good. I think this is probably going to be my Bears game snack.
Wow. Okay.
But these voodoo chips have the prime spot here. So
voodoo chip might be your your breakfast.
So what's the rating on our
girthy boy.
jalapeno cheddar Cheetos here?
I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 there. So we're getting better as we go here. Every single chip is kind of improving a little bit. So
all right,
now it's the big boy time though.
All right,
I'm gonna make sure that I got every taste out of my mouth because I want this to be fresh.
This is the much anticipated.
This is why we're here.
Thursday.
Let's go with the voodoo bags.
This is why we're here right now.
Voodoo,
Cheers.
I'm so excited for this. Ooh.
Not a
This is
super strike, no.
Got one of the folded ones, like you said. These are always the best because these have the most crunch. Too,
Yeah,
I
but
feel like.
the key with these, make sure you eat 2. Eat 1
Eat 2?
flavor, then eat 2 because the second one's gonna have extra pronounced flavor.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna make sure I'm got all this cheddar jalapeno out of my mouth before. All right, here we go. Oh yeah.
Mm. Oh my! It's like a little bit salt and vinegar, a little bit kind of like honey mustardy type of thing, like a barbecue type.
There's a lot of things going on with this chip, and you're right. That second chip had like almost way more flavor than that first one.
It builds on each other. Oh,
these are really good.
All right, what's the rating? What's the much anticipated rating?
I think it's probably around the 8 or 9. It's like almost like a combination of like honey mustard, barbecue, and the sea salt and vinegar.
Oh.
Almost. This is I feel like that's what I'm kind of tasting here. Like a little bit of barbecue maybe in there.
Yeah, this is the most complex chip I've ever had in my life.
It really is. It's kind of like sending me on a whirlwind here because it's like there's so much happening in this chip. It's like every time I think about a different flavor, like I'm tasting something different.
You get a different flavor every chip.
All right, give us your final rating on the chip.
I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. I think I'm gonna eat this over the cheddar jalapeno Cheetos. Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe I'll dump them in and have a little mixture there. But these are up. These are the gas, and they're kettle cooked too, which is automatically a game changer. Anything kettle cooked is always going to be the gas. But
yeah,
I'm definitely in on these chips, and now I'm excited because I know Zapp's has all these other other kinds of chips too. Like when I was looking for these online, they have an insane amount of flavors that I've never even heard of.
The spicy craw tater chips, fantastic. It's like a crawfish boil. The dill pickle chips are the best dill pickle chips of all time.
These are awesome.
Yeah, they've got some great chips. I highly recommend.
Ma'am, thank you for Ryan for being, we said, my snack shaman, taking me on this spiritual journey of chips. We're going to try and do more stuff like this. Keep trying snacks and bringing you these ultimate snack rankings here.
We need to do like a chili cook-off one day or like a soup. Like we all need to make
we just need to keep doing flights because that was fantastic. That was
awesome.
I just tweeted it out, Blake, so you have your ratings out there on the Twitter sphere. But with that said, fellas, that was an awesome segment. A lot of fun. Brian, thank you for spreading that knowledge on chips with us. And thank you for properly showing us how to taste chips. And I was great. My fiance loved it. She loves that segment. So we're going to keep doing a segment like that. All right, fellas, before we let you guys go, could we get all McCullers?
McCullers is a girthy boy. He's exactly like that cheddar jalapeno Cheeto.
Where does he stand with the Bears? Like, is he like doing physicals and shit right now?
I know he's inactive today, but I think that's because they brought him in this week. But
all right, let's get into our Bears game predictions, and then we'll let you guys go to enjoy the hour before. You're gonna lose some years on your life. So let's start it off, Ryan. I'm gonna throw it over to you. Give me your Bears score.
Let's see. Let me pull up my banner here. So I changed mine around while y'all weren't looking. Damn. Bears 20. Oh, here we go.
Oops, sorry.
Hey, hide that comment.
Whoop. All right. Whoop. All right.
Bears 24, Falcons 20. I changed it. I originally had the Falcons 31, Bears 24. I took 11 points off the Falcons. That's how bold I'm feeling today after this this pregame show. I'm amped up. I think the Bears are going to fucking roll. Bears 24, Falcons 20. Can I get a Bears?
Bears. All right, well, I'll go next because I'm around the same as you, Ryan. I got Bears 23, Falcons 20. Like I said earlier, I think this is a big running the football game. You want to see Mitch play better, but if they're committed to the running game and it's successful, then we might not even need him to do much through the air. So it's never pretty with the Bears, and that's why I always get a little scared of putting a lot of points because, like I said last week after the game, I can't ever go one Bears game without leaving with a headache. They always find a way to make it interesting here. So I think it's going to be a close one. I think the Falcons, it's going to be similar to the last 2 weeks where the Falcons are driving down the field late game and defense comes up with a big play. Jalen Johnson, maybe that's his moment. So I got Bears 23, Falcons 20.
All right, and I've got the biggest margin of victory today by the Bears. Also, Blake, you picked the Bears to lose this week on your pregame schedule.
I did.
Before we knew about injury reports.
Yeah, this is.
I don't want to hear
that
it.
That was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago.
Bears are back, baby. 27-17. The Falcons are not going to be able to score points until the end of the game. I think the Bears are going to be able to really move the ball today. I think it's going to be a very Swiss cheese defense for the Falcons. I've got Bears 27. Falcons 17, Bears with that comfortable win today. Mitch Trubisky's back. The Bears are back 3-0 heading into a big week against the Colts. So those are our predictions. Drop your predictions in the comments if you have them. Guys, thank you so much for rolling with us today. A great show all the way over an hour. We had a lot of fun with you guys. Staley's Picks. We're going to be back real quick. Announcement, we're going to be back. Our post-game show is not going to be after the game. It's going to be after the afternoon games. So right around 6:15, 6:30 as the afternoon games are wrapping up, we're going to hop on for about 20, 30 minutes, recap today's games and the Bears game, and then we'll post that up.
Picks as well.
Staley's Picks as well, and then we're going to post that on our podcast platform. The post-game show will be on the podcast platform. That's Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. Make sure you guys follow us, rate, subscribe, comment. We appreciate it very much so. Thank you so much. We've got some big announcements coming this week as well. Follow us on social media, Lakeshore Live Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, at LSL_pod on Twitter. We've got some big announcements coming, so stay tuned for that. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Go Bears, bear down, and let's get a win today.
Bears.